Well, welcome back to Rough Restos on this beautiful windy day. Maybe not beautiful windy day, but day. So this is not an L322. This is my Mercedes M113 powered Ford Capri. Now, a lot of you probably know about this build. Yeah, sorry, it's been quiet now for 5 months. Whoops. I know I had an intention of getting on the road for a little meet up with some friends last August, but wasn't needed in the end, so I decided not to rush it. And after making the sheer amount of progress we made on this car in such a short period beforehand, I needed a bit of break, and then sort of with just so many things on to do with people, and then having to spend what feels like an eternity fixing the L322 and all that. It's dragged on. But I now found myself with a few days to work on this car again. So we're working on it, and I'm buzzing. Now the current aim is, not sure we can make it yet because I keep turning this into a bigger and bigger job every time I look at it. But I kind of want it on the road over Christmas really. So maybe towards the end of Christmas, early New Year, I wouldn't mind getting on the road. So, what do I need to do to get on the road? Technically not much. Just finish off the wiring, the plumbing, and the suspension bits and bobs so I mount them up properly. Fix the oil leak and the exhaust, finish the exhaust. And then technically, we could probably take it for an MOT. But we're not going to do that because I'm a bit of a tart and I like to have things nice. Mainly engine bays, actually, to be fair, and this engine bay is now currently a complete mess. So I wouldn't feel comfortable just taking it to a car show and having the Mercedes dumped in there in this mess. So I think we should do it properly. So what does that entail? Well, that's going to obviously entail welding up all the bay, obviously including all the modifications we made, undoing previous modifications to the bay, welding up all the holes, fixing these previous bodges done by other people over the years. So that means basically we've got to strip the whole engine bay down to bare metal, fix every single issue, which I know is going to be loads of issues in this engine bay, and then obviously repaint it all. So that's already that's a huge job. So in doing so, we need to replace all the brake lines because a few issues last time. So okay, not another tiny job, but worth doing. So replace all the brake lines. Next thing, wiring. Obviously, being a Sparky by trade, the wiring is the one thing of mine that's kind of got to be tidy. We've still got to obviously loom tape up the engine, finish off that, and finish off the ECU box. But the headlights in this thing are awful. Now, all my cars, I tend to upgrade the headlights, and I like to be able to see at night. This thing, I think I'll be better off with 2 candles at the front, even if they blew out in the wind, so it'd still be more effective. So that's just due to being old, inferior headlight designs, voltage drop through the old wiring, and just poor design. So I'm not sure what I'm going to change them to yet, because I don't want it to look too out of place, but I do want to slightly modernise it a bit and make it a lot more effective. And obviously it's got to be road legal as well. But what we will be doing is ditching all the Ford headlight relay setup, running in new wiring for the headlights, so we have no voltage drop issues. In doing so, that means really, if we take care of the indicator of the headlights, the only thing left in the engine bay to wire, all that's got wiring, it's needed, is this. But it's not needed because that's all gone. So that kind of means that the fuse box doesn't need to be in the engine bay, nor do these multi-plugs. I think it'll look a lot tidier without them. So we're going to relocate the fuse box into the car, ditch these multi-plugs, redo all that. Eventually I want to sort of rewire the inside of the car, the forward side anyway. Obviously the engine's being completely standalone, new looms. I'll just slowly sort of rewire my way through the car. But that's a future job. So we're going to ditch all this, make it more of a smooth look. I think the less in the bay, the better really. I like tidy bays. Relocate the washer bottle into here because I kind of like that hole. So we'll keep that one. So that's already a large amount of wiring alterations. A large amount of engine bay work. Got to fix that, and I'm dreading that still. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. We'll work it out. That's not going to be fun. Finish off with suspension bits and bobs, and then probably whilst I'm at it, I want to go around and just attack this thing with an angle grinder and just bodge up all where it's getting bad on the car, just kind of start fixing some of the actual issues with it. That'll make it more comfortable. It is going to have a full restoration one day, ideally fiberglass wings, bonnet, and all that kind of such, but for now, I want the engine bay to be near enough mint. I don't want to really be touching the engine bay in the future then. I want to kind of get the engine bay done and we can then almost leave that in the future. So, a huge amount of work to do. So how are we going to do it and what we're going to do? Well, we have to pull it apart again. So I'll insert another clip in. I just got of it running. Yeah, that's such a beautiful sound. I absolutely love it. So I thought I'd best give it a quick run before we take it apart. Poor thing. Because now it's going to be probably the amount of work it needs doing to it. It's going to be a while before it goes back together again. Probably not for you guys, because by the time these videos start coming out, they'll be in a line hopefully, so it'll be less a wait for you guys than it'll be for me. So, I've got a lot of work to do. Where do I start? Well, seeing as now I think all the modifications in the engine bay are sussed out, I've just worked out here we're not going to be using the plastic mouth housing now. We're going to change it, and we're going to put a silicone one in. So, which actually means in the end I might have got away without cutting this out, which is really annoying, but it is what it is. We'll get around it. So I think the best thing I could do really is just start stripping it all apart. I know what needs to be done. So, for the 777th time, let's get all the engine, gearbox, prop removed, take out all the cooling system, all the wiring, and then start stripping the engine bay back to more than it's been stripped back for many, many years. So, let's crack on. So we're out then. So, engine's out. I've identified some of the leaks. There's actually leaks from the rocker covers leaking down, and a couple from the lower part of the sump pan. Actually, a new one appeared there. Yeah, see, seems to be the lower part of the pan, not the upper part, which is good. That's the easier one to fix. So, yep, we've got that to take off and fix. Oh yeah, still got to do it probably, haven't I? Whoops. Oh, all these bits on the engine to finish off, tidy up, sort out. Handsome, that's fine. Gearbox is out, prop shaft's out. I want to modify the gearbox mount a bit, make it easier to put in and out. Be kind of handy, really. Whether I get a chance to remake one of them yet, or whether I wait. That's not top priority anyway. That's not affecting us at the minute. So, where are we at in the bay then? Well, this is a mess. And in order to work on it, we've got to remove as much as possible. So for now, I'm going to leave a cross member and a steering shaft in, just because obviously I won't be painting it today or tomorrow, and I want the car to be movable still. So we'll leave that in, and we'll rip out now all the brakes, the electrics, any bolt-ins, you know, like my radiator brackets here are strong enough to tow the car with. And we'll just start stripping out anything that's not needed, well, anything, basically. It's only going to be the cross member and the steering shaft left in place. Bumper's got to come off, headlight's got to come off. They don't have to come off yet, but they're going to be in our way a bit, and there's no point risking things getting damaged, is there? So, all that's got to come off. Strut top mounting plates, they can come off. I need to cover up these top mounts really, because they're quite expensive, nice aluminium ones. I don't want to be damaging them. Sort all that out. Yeah, I got loads. I'm not going to bore you guys with all the fine details of this. We're just going to start ripping it all out and go from there, really. Is this hose still sweating, or has it stopped sweating? How odd. Or is it empty? Oh, I think it's empty, yeah. That's probably why. Stupid Chinese rubbish. So, I'm going to quit rambling, and I'm going to get this much of this stripped down again, And then we can start the fun part, where we start working out how much of this car is filler, how much is rust, and how much is actually still usable steel. Great! Okay, so some slight changes. It's bare. It's not been this bare. Well, I think since I originally kind of built the car, although I didn't paint it, to be fair, and the engine bay preps were done beforehand, so this isn't all my mess, not all of it. But as you can see, this car has had many different ow! Whoops. Don't get it stuck on you now. Almost ripped a nail from it, removing these plugs. This car's had many different paint jobs over the years. Bad ones, a lot of bad prep work. So some various bad repairs. Oh, joys. The metal down here is actually cracked for the bonnet stay. Bonnet catch. So that needs to be fixed. Yeah. So there's a lot of disasters in it. A lot needs tidying up. All these holes need welding up. But see, the wings are just littered with different holes. Some will be factory holes, and then various ones from engine conversions over the years and whatnot. So many holes that need all welding up. I think I'm going to ditch all these brake line holes down the bottom here, because they're not needed. If I do it all through the front again, which I will do, and in the inner wings, I'm not going to need much of that. There's going to be 2 brake line feeds coming out of the master cylinder, which will go around somewhere, and then one that needs to go back from this side back to the back of the car. So we'll have a look and work it out. But there might not actually be many brake lines in the engine bay. Might only be either 2 from the master cylinder down. They might even go for the inner wings, I'm not sure yet, I'll work it out. So I'm thinking about welding tabs or something inside the inner wings to take the wiring down through. I also want to relocate the bonnet release cable for the inner wing. That shouldn't be an issue, I don't think. That should be fine. One, because the one I've got now obviously isn't long enough to what I need to do. And 2, because it's one less thing in the engine bay. I've tied the engine bay right up. We've also got, obviously, then that hole's not needed anymore. That one's not needed, that one's not needed, that one's not needed. That's not needed, that's not needed, that's not needed, that's not needed. So they might as well go as well. It would be easier to clean, wouldn't it? It would look tidier. So, oh, and this here just doesn't seem right there. It's a big bulge there. That's not going to be good, I don't think. This side looks absolutely fine. I think that side might be filler on top of what's no longer metal, like this was. So, what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to check out my knot wheel. Spend a little while here doing a few bits, not much. I haven't got much time left today now, I've got to go out in a minute. So, I'm going to get knot wheel out. I'm going to start cleaning up some of these bad parts and work out what we've actually got to work with here. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? So I think we should crack on, make some noise and make some mess. So, the moment I have not been waiting for. So, majority of the paint that was flaking off on this thing is absolutely fine. It's just poor paint work. The metal underneath it is absolutely perfect. So the majority of the metal in this bay is really good, which is nice. But we've got a nice bit of work to sort out here, which is going to be fun. And when I pulled the strut brace plates off, I noticed over here there's a crack. Why? Because of this. The outer skin here is rotting away. Not sure how good the inner skin is yet. Basically need to cut back. We'll see more of this. Chisel it off. Knock it down.
and either replace both skins or I guess treat this skin and put a new skin on the top. Yeah, joys. But to be fair, most of where the painted is flaking off and such, it's just poor prep. At some point, you can just about see the blue from factory. But there's a green. No idea what the green is. But the green's almost like an enamel, and this is like black. And the problem is where the black is. Now, when I bought the car, the engine bay was black. So that's the problem. It's the previous owner has chucked Hammerite over with like no prep. Hence why the paint's falling off the car now, like however many years later. Joys. So I got my work cut out. Obviously I knew about this before down here. This needs all the rock cutting out, treating, fixing. I'm going to have to get me some weld-through primer. Maybe some more fabrication tools as well. Good excuse. And what I really need is a commercial sandblaster setup on a budget, which I've already started to acquire, ish, kind of. Got me a 28 kVA VW air-cooled generator, which I want to try and run a 11 kilowatt compressor, which is that's technically too small by a smidge, but it might just do it because it's so old school. And then I have got me the start of some sandblasting kit. So, but yeah, I haven't got that set up yet, and that's going to take time and a good bit of money to put together. So I guess we'll just have to keep cracking on and fixing as much as we can do, and maybe see if I can get a sandblasting set up before needing to paint the engine bay. If not, we'll just have to work around it, but it's going to be a lot easier if we can sandblast in around all these friggin' gaps in headlight buckets, and that would save so much time and do a much better job. So yeah, right, I'm going to go do some stuff. So I think tomorrow we're going to cut out this rust, find the extent of it, and start making repairs. Might as well start repairing stuff first, in case I can get a sandblasting setup together before needing to go back to all bare metal everywhere. So I guess we should crack on and start fixing what's currently broken. Joys.
Welcome back to my engine bay. Joys. So, just been around the engine bay, found all the little holes that have been made over the years for different engine conversions, different pipe work and all that stuff, and worked out what I need to get rid of, which is about 87 holes. Joys! But someone's got to do it, and that's got to be me. So I just had a quick go here. So what we're going to try to do is use this aluminium water block as a bit of a backing plate to try and get in behind the hole, and then it'll help us fill it with a welder. Kind of works. Bit of an issue where these like screw holes here are because where it's supposed to be screwed through, the metal at the back isn't flat, it's pushed out backwards, so this can't sit flat against it. So it kind of works, kind of doesn't, but either way, I best crack on and stop moaning because I've got a lot of them to do. So I'll try my best. I'm not a fabricator, but I'm learning as I go, and this car should be a good little practice, so give me a good chance to learn some stuff. I bought some more tools, and I'm going to have to buy a few more tools as well because I like tools. So let's have a go a minute. So that there is what we're aiming for. So hole is gone. Then use a flat disc on a grinder to take it back smooth, and that should give us something nicely. Obviously we need high build primer, fine filler and whatnot, but that should give us something nice to work with. Oh, hey pup, what are you doing there? What are you doing? Hey wiggle bum, come see daddy, have you? Okay. So I've got a puppy to fill there as well now. Right, let's crack on, because as you can see, holes are absolutely everywhere. I say about 87 of them I've found so far. Some are obviously factory holes. I
a lot of ones that have been made over the years. Typically, as you'd expect, things have progressed. If they weren't progressing, I'd be a bit upset. So far now, I think it's 87 holes I've just welded up. Joys. I won't be welding many ones on the back, to be fair. There's only 2 holes that actually need to be welded up on the bulkhead there. The rest are going to get blanking plugs and grommets put in them instead. So that'll probably make more sense. And it saves them to strip out the interior because it's hard to access because I take off the ramp to do that. Yeah, no. So for now it's fine. So what's next? Well, we could start welding up these holes. No, I think before we do that, we're going to go ahead and now cut the rest of the rust out and work out what actually needs welding. So to do this, got my air cut-off tool, air die grinder, air chisel to knock back some panels, and then a normal grinder and whatnot. And we're just going to, do a bit of surgery in a minute and try and actually cut out all this rust and work out what we've got left to work with. And then we can work out how we're going to fabricate parts and get this fixed. Now, if I'd not cut these out on the friggin' bends, it wouldn't be too bad, would it? Because I could literally just use the same hole saw I used to cut them out, cut a bit of steel out, and weld it in place. But it doesn't work when they're bent like that, because it's going to be an oval shape that goes in there. Oh well. I'm happy that things are progressing, and it's going to be a nicer engine bay than it ever has been. Well, it will be, because it's obviously always been like this. It was tidy, obviously, when it's first done up and painted, but it's not going to be, at least now it's going to be tidy, very tidy, and it's going to be sound. So that's more than what could have been said for it for the past 6 years, I think. So yeah, let's make some mess. So I think I may have skipped ahead a bit here. Where did we? Oh yeah, last thing I said to you guys was I was going to start cutting out the rust, which I did do. So down here, cut out any rust. So here, cut out any rust. Not sure yet if I'm going to fill them holes or plate over that a lot. Decisions. Because we don't actually need any of these holes in here, and all we're doing is letting stuff in. Don't know, I'll decide on that one yet. So yeah, we've got to fix some holes. This one here. Someone's obviously done a repair here before. Not a terrible repair, but not an amazing repair. Probably my sort of standard repair. So we need to fix the inner skin and then the outer skin. So that's going to be fun. Over here, actually isn't too bad. The strut top is absolutely solid. So all we need to do is treat that and then weld in the new part of the top wing again. So that's actually not a hard job really. So that's fine. Still haven't sussed that out yet. Dreading that one. That's out of my comfort zone. So what have I also cracked on with now? Well, I thought I'd start filling some other holes. So obviously we filled all the little holes. I thought I'd best fill all the holes I've made, which we don't need anymore. So that used to be power steering, pipe on the Cosworth, gone. That one there used to be one of the boost pipes. This one here used to be a boost pipe. Again, I am not a professional welder. My welds could be prettier, but my fabrication wasn't amazing, so right there I had a few little gaps again, so I had to fill some gaps. But it's solid, and I've seen a lot worse. I've seen a lot worse done by mechanics and garages, to be fair. So I'll take that still. It's absolutely sound. Couldn't obviously get the exact shape of a shell here, but I thought I did a good job mimicking it where possible. Obviously everything's going to fill a skip. a skim of filler over it. That's the one. Just because to tidy it up a little bit, but not much. I don't want much filler in the bay. It'll just be, well, because nothing's also going to be flat, is it? It's a Ford engine bay. Here is a previous repair that someone's done, where they patched from the outside, obviously where they had a rust issue with a battery tray. I'm not going to remove it. The patch they've done is absolutely fine. There's no problems with it at all. If I was to remove it, I'd have to cut all this out here and redo it just for the sake of it. And what's the point? It's solid. So what we'll end up doing is probably end up seam sealing in there, I guess, and then, or something along the lines of filling over it, because it's going to be filled over here. I don't see any problem with that at all. So yeah, I think that's enough progress for one episode. I've still got little bits bobs to weld and fix like this here, because that's going to need to be done, else the bonnet's not going to close properly. Remove stuff like that bracket, it's not needed. Little bits of repairs to do along here, and then we're making progress on the welding. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet. I've got to suss it out, but that'll be next episode job. So yeah, I think so far I'm pretty happy with what I've done. I've got down there, that's that rough hole. The reason that's really rough and bad is because it was done in situ from the engine bay from memory with a grinder with a Cosworth in place. So there was no access to do it. But my idea there, big old CV boot here. I reckon I weld a bit of 4-inch pipe coming out that hole there, so enlarge it, 4-inch pipe. I can then Jubilee clip this CV boot or cable tie onto that pipe, and all my wiring loom will fit perfectly through there and all the connectors. And then we can build a little rubber plug at the end there or something, or something that clamps around it, 3D print something to tighten it up, and that would make a really nice cable entry exit where it's easy to take them out in the future. It might look a bit stupid having a CV boot coming out the firewall, but I think it'll look tidier than what's there currently. And as for up here, I was going to weld it up, but I might have changed my mind now. It doesn't need to be welded. I can quite easily just bung big grommets in those ones, and then here I can 3D print a little plate that sits in there and seal it in place. So I think I'm going to do that rather than weld up all the factory holes. Make a nice little plate there. There might have been other use to put something there. We'll see. Right. I could do a shower. So I'm very happy to be back on the Capri. Obviously in this episode we've removed all the engine and we've started the work on the engine bay. I guess it's probably going to be another episode on the engine bay of getting it finished, welded up, ready for paint, maybe primed, and then the painting will be probably in a different episode. We've obviously also got the engine, the throttle body still to have a look at, fix the oil leaks, finish welding up the exhaust, tidy up a few of the pulleys and a few little, you know, I'm not going to town on it. I'm not taking it all apart and sandblasting it all and painting it up properly yet, not until it's proven, but we might just sandblast the pulleys, give them a bit of paint, just so they're not so ugly in a shiny engine bay. So we've got all that to do, and then all the rest of the cast. There's still plenty to do. We've got a good few episodes coming up yet for this one. But I've run out of time now this week. In a week and a half's time, I've got 9 days off, including the weekends. I'm not free all them 9 days, but I reckon we can make another good chunk of progress. But ideally, it all needs to be welded up by then, painted, and the engine work done. I want it, in that time, I want that engine ready to go. I want the engine bay ready to go, and maybe treat and sort out any other little issues on the bodywork to an extent. The car won't be back together and ready for an MOT by then, no way. But I wouldn't mind, you know, making some progress on it. Maybe even get the brake lines in and sorted. It'd be nice. So yeah, if you're well, I'm sorry it's taking this long to put another update video out on the Capri, but I'm back on it now, so I'm very excited. Thank you for sticking around if you've been waiting 5 months for an update. If you've come here from any of my other content, then thank you for taking a look at Capri. Obviously there's 20 odd episodes prior of this build. Quite an exciting build. Well, in my eyes it is, and from feedback I get, so it's the first of its kind. It's the first ever running, driving M113 powered Ford Capri. From what I can find out at all on the internet. I'm not the first person to try doing it. I think as far as the internet's concerned, I'm only the second ever person to try doing it. I think I'm the fourth person to ever think about doing it. But I'm the only person who's actually done it, if that makes sense, and actually got the car running and driving. The person that started it, I think only got the engine mounted, and that was about it. No, nothing else. So yeah, we're doing well. And obviously, mostly in the time we've done it really quick. So now we're doing it properly because I want it on the road around Christmas and I want to enjoy it. So yeah, sorry I've rambled on again. I'm good at talking. Why not drop me a comment, tell me what you think of the build, tell me if there's anything I could do better. Although to be fair, it's probably done by the time it's come out already, so I appreciate the feedback, but sorry we don't do it because it'd be done already. Obviously, like the video, it really helps with YouTube algorithms. Subscribe for plenty more, and obviously on my channel there already is over 100 videos of bits and projects I've been doing. Obviously we've got all sorts on the channel, loads of it, and loads more coming. So yeah, thank you very much. I've been Jordan.